Today's story is about one of Motown's best R&B and funk groups of all time. This group was one of the top bands during their long tenure at Motown. With 75 million albums sold, 7 number one singles, 5 number one albums, and numerous of other accolades to their name, it's safe to say that this is one of Motown's greatest groups to step foot into the legendary label. The centerpiece of today's video is all about the Commodores. Now before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. This story begins as a result of the disbandment of two groups, the Majestics and the Jays, all of whom attended Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. The band originally consisted of William King, Thomas McCleary, Ronald LaPrade, Walter Clyde Orange, Lionel Richie, and Milan Williams. The group was created to simply play music for fun and, of course, to meet females. The group members nearly went insane when trying to come up with a name for them, but after so many times, that was unsuccessful. As a last result, Orange gave King a dictionary and told him to pick the name, and that name was the Commodores. With Clyde Orange being the only learned musician in the group, the Commodores began spreading their music throughout their base, which included Tuskegee, Montgomery, and Birmingham, Alabama. The group made an immediate impression by winning the yearly talent event. Following that, the group often performed at fraternities as well as a Black Forest, which is a club for college students. The band traveled to New York in 1969 to perform at a club called Small's Paradise, where their reputation quickly spread beyond college campuses. Now back in the day, if you wanted to be noticed in the music industry, then you most likely had to travel to New York, California, Detroit, or Memphis. After the group traveled to New York, the club owner initially turned them down, but later called them back after receiving a cancellation. The group pulled off a clever move by having the bulk of the club filled with friends and family. Now, the owner was unaware of this, and he assumed that they just rocked out the house, which left him so thrilled that he scheduled the group for more performances. The group met Benny Ashburn, who managed the group in the early 70s. Now Ashburn had industry connections that led the group to secure a deal with Atlantic Records. The band's stint at Atlantic was not successful, but Ashburn became the connecting piece with the group signing with Motown. When he contacted Motown executive Susan DePass or DePasse, who booked the group to open up for the Jackson 5. The group rocked out every show, which led them to sign a deal with Motown and became the start of the group's success. Now before I continue, I would like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. One may wonder why a VPN is necessary. Just consider the enjoyable activities you enjoy doing, like browsing the internet, watching movies, or simply using the free public Wi-Fi. It's possible that you are being watched by someone who uses a digital spying tool. Your internet service provider may be monitoring your online activities, or worse, a cyber criminal may be attempting to obtain your credit card information. Or it could just be a stranger standing next to you looking to steal your data. But fear not, NordVPN blocks out all of these prying eyes. It keeps your online activity secret, guards against visiting risky websites, and enables you to safely enjoy your favorite material even when you're not at home. The best part is that indeed, internet security is that easy to achieve. All it takes is one click. To begin your internet security, simply click the link in the description box below. Thank you once more, NordVPN, for sponsoring today's video. Now, Let's continue with the video. Group's first few years with Motown was rocky, since they had a lot going on at the time, with the bandmates still being in college. After they graduated in 1974 and could focus on their careers, the group released their debut album in July, named Machine Gun, which achieved national and international success, peaking at 138 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 22 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. This album gave us 2 hit singles with the self-entitled instrumental and I Feel Sanctified.
Knowing that the beast in a man is there.
The single Machine Gun became a staple at American sporting events, and it was also featured in other films including Boogie Nights and Looking for Mr. Goodbar. From 1975 through 1979, the band released 6 albums, 4 of which was declared platinum and 1 declared gold. During this run, they generated lots of hits such as Slippery When Wet,
Taking care of business very well. You got to keep yourself.
Sweet Love,
Show me a place where dreams of a dreamer.
Just to Be Close to You,
Just to be close to you, girl.
Easy,
Why me?
Sell On,
Put on a wood dagger. Now you're going
3 Times a Lady,
to the end of our rainbow.
Brick House,
House. Well, put together, everybody knows this is how
and Still, among many more hits.
you laughed at me.
In 1980 and 1981, the group released 2 more albums, Heroes, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 3 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts, also going certified platinum, and that peaked at number 13 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 4 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts, also going certified platinum. These 2 albums had numerous of hits, including Wonderland,
Hello.
Old Fashioned Love,
In the world. Smiling
Lady,
and no one cares. You made me see that I was.
and Oh No.
Oh, no. I can't sleep.
In 1982, the group decided to take a hiatus for touring and recording, during which Lionel Richie decided to pursue a solo album at the suggestion of Motown and other group members. Its success encouraged Richie to pursue a solo career, which left him to leave the group, and Skylar Jett replaced him as co-lead singer. Also that same year, the group's longtime manager Benny Ashbourne sadly passed away from a heart attack at the age of 54. As the group grew in size and popularity around the world, the media began to play a major role in the group's morale. The media, they played a huge role in Lionel Richie pursuing a solo career.
I had gotten used to being called Commodore. I didn't have a name. But after Kenny Rogers and Endless Love, I became this guy named Lionel Richie. And so the interviews got a little bit more direct. Lionel, tell us about the day you started the Commodores. Well, I didn't start the Commodores. I mean, the guys we put together. You know, you start fumbling around. Or they'd be asking the guys very pointed questions. I'll walk in and all the cameras now are going to me. I had no intent.
I just always assumed that you're like, okay, I'm Lionel Richie now. I'm ready to go and go on my own.
Listen, you know what solo means?
Yeah.
Solo means you get another band.
Mm-hmm.
I already had a band.
Right.
The problem that happened with the Commodores was it was so difficult from a press point of view. In other words, everyone would write. It was very painful. I've been through this with the guys. when one guy gets a hit record and no one else gets the hit record.
Right.
I know what that feels like. And the press kept saying terrible things like, what's a guy like Lionel Richie doing in a band like the Commodores? This is the press now. Or finally, Lionel Richie comes on stage and he sings his love songs. Try to go back to a rehearsal after that.
Then they took it hard.
And it's very difficult. So we didn't really think of it as being this long. It's just going to be a break for a minute to kind of get everybody's attitude down a little bit. It's just that right after that, All Night Long happened.
Uh-huh.
Endless Love.
Did they call you and say, hey, you know what, we changed our mind?
No, that never happened.
That never happened?
That never.
Thomas McClary departed the group to pursue a solo career as well and was replaced by guitarist and vocalist Sheldon Reynolds. In September of 1983, the group released the album Commodores 13, which peaked at 103 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 26 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. Reynolds eventually quit the group in 1987 to join Earth, Wind & Fire, and King took over as a primary guitarist. Malon Williams left the group in 1989 after allegedly refusing to tour in South Africa. By the mid-80s, the band abandoned its funk roots in favor of pop music. Former Heatwave member J.D. Nicholas took over as co-leader alongside Orange in 1984. Now this lineup went hitless until their final Motown record, Night Shift.
His heart in every line.
In 1985, this song earned the group its first ever Grammy Award, and in 1992, they released a Christmas album titled Commodore's Christmas, followed by another album called No Tricks that following year. In 1990, they formed Commodores Records and re-recorded their 20th greatest hits as Commodores Hits Volume 1 and 2. They also recorded a live album called Commodore Lives along with a DVD of the same name. In 1995, the group was inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2003. In 2012, the band was looking to work on new material with some contributions written from current and former members. The group's former Tuskegee studio was purchased in 2015 by a former bodyguard and other associates. Now the studio has been abandoned and untouched since 1982. The owners, they had a great idea to turn the studio into a museum where they named it the Commodore Museum. As of 2020, the group consists of Walter Clyde Orange, J.D. Nicholas, and William King, alongside a 5-piece band, the Mean Machine. To this day, the group continues to perform, playing at arenas, theaters, and festivals all around the world. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from the Commodores?